Today's AskReddit post: if men started hiding their nipples the way women did, do you think eventually women would be conditioned to start becoming sexually aroused at the sight of a man's breasts? Why or why not? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. We already cover our dicks, and women don't like to see those randomly. I think the problem is the weaponization of the unwelcome surprise dick. Men will just weaponize their nipples. Imagine the locker rooms. Guys will be hanging towels on their nipples and swinging them around. I imagine more of the machine gun nipples in Austin Powers. But I suppose the locker room violence will be bad also. Machine gun jubblies? Victorian lady who shows ankle. Society. Whore of Babylon. Thanks. Looked for this before posting. If ankles were sexy back in the day because showing them off was taboo, then pretty much anything can be sexualized. Did the same. Just like hiding a safe-handed can become sexualized if it is always covered in public. Is this a Stormlight Archives reference in the wild? You know it. Slightly smiling face. Now introducing the bro. Guys, are you tired of wearing shirts that reveal too much and doesn't give you any support? Well, not anymore, because we got the bro. A cotton fiber, lightweight flex wire chest support. It's snug and will make you feel secure. Come into Brooks Brothers today. Our staff will measure your chest, back and shoulders to get you the perfect bro. Now when you see her in a bra, you can show her your bro. Please. You'll never compete against my company and our bra. I see your bra and I raise you a bra. You called? Bruh. I might be wrong, but isn't a man's torso already one of the more visually stimulating things for women about men? Yes. Assuming you are referring to the cuts that a lean man's the torso makes around the torus and where the legs meet at the waistline. Did a quick search and it actually has a name. The Adonis belt is the V-shaped muscle that runs diagonally from your hip bones to the pelvic region. My ex used to just call it the dick runway. Dude, as a woman, I love seeing a guy's chest. 100-point symbol. Well then, let me tell you about my chest. It's made out of wood and I keep my linens in it. Do women not like pecs? I'm a gay guy and most of us love the chest pecs. Women do in fact love pecs. I have no idea what OP is on about, lol. I mean, of course you'd get aroused if you saw Chris Hemsworth shirtless in front of you. But I don't think you would if some regular looking guy took off his shirt. Most straight men, however, would get at least a bit turned on by regular tits. Most straight men, however, would get at least a bit turned on by regular tits. They'd get turned on by a zit if it was in the right place. LOL, all the dudes saying no. My girlfriend gleefully exchanges pics of her boobs for pics of my pecs. Ask women what they like, don't just assume. This is why you have a GF. Can confirm. Blue is GF sends the best boob pics. They are great and she does like to share. Sharing is caring. Yeah, probably. But then they'd make laws about keeping your shirt on as a man, and my brother, I am not down to hide my hairy titties. In many states it is legal for women to go in public without a top. Thanks for that knowledge, you PMME yours titties. Bold of you to assume my man's nipples don't sexually arouse me. Well, now that you mention it, that would be possible. On the other hand, if women stopped doing this, men could possibly stop getting aroused at female breasts. Maybe to some degree, but I see legs all the time and I still find them arousing. Removed. Yes, officer. This comment right here. Guys, don't worry. He's talking about the children, not the hot librarian or the hot counselor that you intentionally get alone time with. The vast majority of humans are very horny creatures. And as an asexual, I do not say that lightly. So judging from what I've seen of most of humanity, it wouldn't even take hiding them for women to become aroused at something like that. Some humans get aroused at parts of the body you wouldn't even think of, and I bet you at least some of these spots are not covered up the majority of the time. So answer TL. DR answer. Probably wouldn't change too much. I have two friends with fetishes as well. One a hand fetish and one a clothing fetish. Neither are particularly hidden from public. I suppose it varies from person to person, but humans have a way to sexualize set boundaries on what body parts or other are attractive versus unattractive. Most guys answering this question are or teens or people who have never talked to a girl. Women's already get aroused by chests. It's nothing new. And they don't have to be muscular to be attractive. Thank Duck for that, because I am not. Do you only like girls with gigantic chests? Why should it be any different for them? It's all relative, my dude. I think OP want men to wear bras or peck holsters. Patent pending. A little, but men are biologically attracted to them because they are signs of a good mate. Similar to birds that show off colors. We're biologically hardwired to desire useful traits, strength, muscles, and the like for men. Big breasts, childbearing hips, and such for women. But I think there would be an attraction eventually, not in a biological sense, but rather a perversion to desire that which is taboo. We don't see scrotes all the time and they're freaking and sexy as hell. We don't see scrotes all the time. Not with that attitude, you don't. LOL touche. But I'm married, so I mean I could anytime I wanted to. What makes you think they aren't already? How do you know we aren't already? I got big fat man titties. I try to keep them covered. Unleashing them does not arouse the wife. What the duck? People aren't aroused by breasts just because of nipples. What a terrible life it would be if I only enjoyed fully naked tits. You've never seen a woman's reaction to a firefighter's calendar, have you? In all seriousness, yes, anything taboo becomes titillating. I don't have any evidence for this aside from what I've been told anecdotally, including by my wife. But I think women in general are less aroused by purely visual stimulus like nudity. They enjoy it, but it usually doesn't elicit the same instinctual arousal that it usually does for men. Their brains are wired differently in that way. As a bisexual woman, I can't imagine being aroused by just seeing a bare-chested man or woman. Maybe that's why I think a lot of straight dudes are weird about boobs. I'm a big guy and I love boobs and pecs. Really, any skin showing catches my attention and leads to checking you out. If showing bare torsos was more common, it might be less sexual, but I'm sure I'd still be checking it out. My fiance recently realized that she has never seen my butthole before despite me seeing her butthole several hundred times. She has decided this is an imbalance of power and desperately wants to see my butthole. I have told her that in no way is she allowed to see my butthole. For a small white dude, I have a pretty fat ass, and if I clench my cheeks, no force on this planet will expose my chocolate cavern. It has gone from a joke to her legitimately doing whatever she can to see my butthole. From force to trying to bribe me with food and blowjobs. I'm going to hold out as long as I can to see what else I can get. I suggest all men refuse to show women their buttholes until we get what we want. A PS4, Poutine, and a blowjob. Why are guys so afraid of showing their butthole? Like, come on, we let you see ours all the time and it makes us feel uncomfortable. How is that fair, lol? No. Because a man's nipples really don't have any primitive use visually. Women's breasts are naturally sexualized because they are a sign of a healthy female who can bear healthy children. It can sound disgusting, but it's the truth. That's why men are so aroused by the sight of breasts, especially larger ones, because it means the woman has the best chances of having healthy offspring. It's all primal. The reason men have nipples is because everybody starts out biologically a female in the womb. But as the embryo develops with more testosterone exposure and less estrogen exposure, and with other genetic factors playing a role, it can change into a male but retains that female trait of having nipples. However, a man's nipples are still sensitive to touch and can cause arousal when stimulated physically, but visually they serve no sexual purpose. So, hiding them or not wouldn't change anything in the typical woman's mind when it came sexual arousal. I say all of this as a woman. 2. It's gross to be sexualized in such ways and have men just stare at our breasts all the time, because it is just gross and rude. But the fact they're aroused by it is purely natural. If they stare or make comments, then that's just the man being rude and disgusting by his own accord. Wait, we are not supposed to already find that attractive? Yes, I started wearing undershirts when I got into my 30s. No big whoop. One day my wife and I had to go out and I didn't put one on. Just wore my shirt commando. My wife acted like I was traveling around half naked and was getting frisky with me the entire time we were out. Men used to be attracted to ankles because dresses covered anything else. So being able to see something you aren't supposed to excites everyone. Pecs. You mean pecs, moobs? This is actually a great question. Girls are already sexually aroused when I take my shirt off. Girls are already on the phone with the police when I take my shirt off. All the girls in my country emigrated because I took my shirt off. Do hetero men get aroused by seeing a woman's chest, and do hetero women not get aroused by seeing a man's chest? You are actually making me wonder. As a man who finds men attractive, I think everything from the chest to the penis to the nose and eyes and everything else is appealing to see on a good looking man. But I don't get an erection just seeing any one body part. Is it because men can see naked men every day, showering after gym workouts, etc. since high school team sports days, so that the nudity of a man is all by itself an everyday thing and is not a sexual situation for me? Maybe it's like a Saudi man coming to the West and seeing a woman's hair or arms and legs in public. He might think it's sexual, but Western men would say it's pleasant to the eyes, but it can be completely platonic to talk to a woman with arms and hair visible. For me, chatting with a naked man in the gym shower is completely platonic, even if his chest and everything else can look great. I've been hiding my dick for years and they still don't want to see that. I think the problem is the weaponization of the unwelcome surprise dick. Men will just weaponize their nipples. Imagine the locker rooms. Guys will be hanging towels on their nipples and swinging them around. I imagine more of the machine gun nipples in Austin Powers. But I suppose the locker room violence will be bad also. Machine gun jubblies? How'd I miss those, baby? Most boobs are beautiful. Most dicks are not. To what degree are dicks objectively unattractive in contrast to simply being socially conditioned to believe they don't look nice? Dicks have been memorialized in art since we have been making it. I know plenty of gay men and hetero bisexual women that are big fans of them. People have a visceral reaction to poorly groomed ones or cocks that belongs to strangers who may mean them harm. That doesn't mean cocks themselves are objectively unpleasant. A stranger's poorly groomed unhygienic vagina getting shoved in a man's face would make most men react in disgust. That doesn't mean vaginas are objectively ugly. This guy genitals is. This guy's genitals. I also choose this guy's dead genitals. If I happen to come across some cooch while scrolling through the internet, I'd be fine. If someone sent me an unsolicited picture of their cooch, I'd be pissed. It's about the context. Thanks. Looked for this before posting. If ankles were sexy back in the day because showing them off was taboo, then pretty much anything can be sexualized. Did the same. Just like hiding a safe-handed can become sexualized if it is always covered in public. Is this a Stormlight Archives reference in the wild? You know it. Slightly smiling face. Thank you. Breasts are secondary sex organs. It's no different than being attracted to a man's jawline or another body part. Is my jawline a secondary sex organ? Everything is a secondary sex organ if you are brave enough. Instructions unclear. Penis stuck. I wonder if it's a range thing. Not everyone has nice abs pecs. And certainly as you round 40, a lot of guys tend to have more below the pec line than above. Moobs are similar, not so nice. Similarly, hair. Even for the guys with nice pecs. Some of them it's a bit like finding a bear in the forest. So really, there's only a certain subset of guys who have nice pecs. On the other side of things, Even for women who aren't super fit, a lot of guys are more or less satisfied with just seeing boobs. Please, you'll never compete against my company and our bruh. I see your bruh and I raise you a bruh. You called? Bruh, McGee. My bruh from another mama. I'd prefer if you called it the man's hair. Always upvote Seinfeld references. Also, the amount of replies you've gotten that clearly don't get the reference make me both sad and feeling very old. I know, right? I saw the bro as a reference and had hope, but they don't know the reference. Their lack of awareness is killing independent George. Serenity now. Serenity now. The man's ear. Bro. Man's ear. Bro. Man's ear. Giddy up. I'd prefer to call it the man's ear. Push up bro. Specifically designed to make your pecs look you've actually done push-ups. Haha. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.